So we're up here Friday, last day, SEMA 2023, up here in the Pro Spot booth, and we're going to be going over a little bit of our dent pull stations, but in particular, we're going to be talking about glue pulling, and then also be doing a demo for you on the glue pulling part of it. So I have my buddy Russ Duncan up here because I don't have 6 hands to be able to talk and do this all at the same time. So first I want to say thank you guys all for coming out. On the other side of the booth is our dent pulling area. Everything that we have is live, including the glue pull. So if you guys want to see more when I'm done with this, feel free to meet me over on the other side of the booth and I can do another one in person, a little bit more impersonable for you guys. Other than that, we redesigned our dent pulling stations this year, and a big part of that was all of us getting together and understanding that the industry is changing, as you guys know. Cars are not made the same as they used to be, and one of the biggest changes that we see is the mixed materials, right? It's not just the high-strength steels and ultra-high-strength steels, but it's the fact that car manufacturers are using steel and aluminum all on one vehicle. This Chevy Silverado behind me is a great example of that. On that truck itself, you have aluminum doors, you have an aluminum hood, steel fenders, steel cabs, steel bedsides. So perfect example of what your guys are working on every single day with mixed materials, aluminum and steel. So having all the variety of dent pulling equipment is what we're trying to get and make it easy as possible so it doesn't sit in the corner and collect dust. So we redesigned the dent pulling stations, made them more user-friendly. We updated some of the products for the weld-on stuff, but also the glue pulling in particular. So we're gonna go over the glue pulling right now. I'm gonna have Russ start setting this up so we can talk about it while the glue's drying and we don't completely bore you guys to death. But what we do here at ProSpot is focus on the collision side, right? So not necessarily PDR, but collision glue pulling. So we pride ourselves on testing our glue out to be the strongest glue on the market. So what we're gonna do is just do a little strength test with you guys and show you guys on this Model S Tesla door. This is an aluminum door, but keep in mind that glue pulling works good on steel as well. This really is a money maker in the shop. Technology has changed so much over the years that the glue is now so much stronger that the glue strength can pull out just about anything that any weld-on tab would be able to. So I'm going to get Russ going over here. The first thing that he's going to do is clean the panel with 91% or higher rubbing alcohol. Okay, I'm from California. We can only get 91%, but some of the other states, they got better stuff. So if you can get 99% rubbing alcohol, that's better. But the big thing here is proper prep, okay? Proper prep is going to give you the best chance at getting the best strength pull. If you don't clean it and you don't warm up the panel to make sure that it's willing to accept the glue, it's going to be difficult to get a good strong pull. So what Russ is doing right now is just warming the panel a little bit, and then he's going to warm the tab up as well. If you guys are in a hot environment, it's already 100 degrees outside, there's no need to do this step. You guys can skip this step. We got some air conditioning on in here though, so it's a little bit cooler. So I'm going to have him go ahead and warm the panel. After he warms the panel and the panel's clean, he's going to go ahead and get the glue gun out, flip the tab over, and apply a liberal amount of glue to the glue tab, okay? There's almost no such thing as too much, so to say. So you want to get a good, thick glue padding on the bottom of that tab. You also want to make sure that you don't touch it to your fingers. I've done that a few times and it does not feel good. It's like getting candle wax on you. You got to wait for it to set up, peel it off, and hope it doesn't hurt like hell. So Russ is going to be very careful with that. Get a liberal amount of glue on there. I'm going to get this out of the way for just a second so he can set that down on there nice. And I know it might be kind of hard to see, and some of you guys might be able to look up in the video here to kind of see what he's doing. But we have a big valley. I jumped on this door about an hour ago and put a big old valley right through the middle of this door. So one, we're just going to show you the strength of the glue popping up, but then we're also going to show you, how much you can actually crank and pull on these tabs. So once he has the glue set down, you can see that he's pushing his fingers down to get a nice glue padding underneath there. You don't want to push it too hard that the glue flows out from around the tab itself. You want to leave a nice little bond line in there. Think of it like an adhesive bond line. So nice little bond line in there. Now comes the fun part, 4 minutes. It seems like forever right now when we're going to sit here and talk, but it's really not that long. So I'm going to take a look at my phone here and we're going to go for about 3.5, 4 minutes. Russ is going to get the glue tab set up with the pull bar inside there, and then we're using our new lightweight pull bar. So this is something else that we released here at SEMA 2023, which is this lightweight extendable pull bar. This thing actually works really nice because I can move the feet around. I have little set screws here that I can extend it all the way out on both sides. to give me the ability to get the feet in the right spot on the edge of a panel so that I'm not putting secondary damage into that panel. So Russ is just going to get it kind of cinched up here, and once he has it ready here, we're going to talk to Russ a little bit. He's got his mic on here. So Russ, you're out there in the field quite a bit. You're up there just a little bit north of us in Canada. What are you seeing up there as far as glue pulling and what people are doing with it and enjoying about it?
So this is the process of replacing welding tabs on. So we get some older technicians, when they see this, their arms are folded. By the time we finish this process, their arms are unfolded. This is, we have a convert in the front row. This is really
Love it.
what we used to deal with, how we used to weld a tab on and pull. But we're not damaging the backside, we're not creating any extra corrosion issues, and we truly are, as Ryan said, we're making this for collision repair. This is not PDR. We're getting to that 85, 90 percentile, and then we're putting this back into the shop to what we actually do.
So after that 85 or 90%, as you're saying, that'd be the same thing as doing a weld on where you got a slide hammer, you get it to about 90%, nice little skim coat over the top, send it to paint. The other nice thing that you mentioned is no backside corrosion. So there's a couple good things about that, is that we don't have to worry about burning the backside, applying cavity wax or applying a primer to the backside of the panel after we burn it. But something else that I think about as a former technician myself, some of you guys might relate to this or some of you guys might laugh at me right now, but my biggest issue as a technician was putting cars together. There was nothing out there that I couldn't do until it came back from the paint shop, and I had to put that car together and my brain went like this, okay? So I worked at a Cadillac dealership for a few years as a tech, and Cadillac Escalades, like a quarter panel, rear body trim, they're not fun to take out to gut that entire quarter trim if I got to weld tabs on the inside and then recoat the backside for corrosion protection. So something as small as that, where I don't have to de-trim the inside of an SUV on an Audi or an Escalade or a Mercedes so that I can make the pulls on there without worrying about burning up the inside or having to coat it after. So I think that that's definitely one of the biggest advantages to glue pull. And a couple other things that I look at is being able to see it, right? So as a technician, especially on larger damage, as you start working it out with a weld-on tab or a slide hammer, the panel changes because the paint is no longer there. So you can no longer see your highs and lows as good as you can with paint. So the great thing about glue pull is we leave the paint on there, we make all of our pulls, and we can see the shiny part of the panel and see where our highs and our lows are and know where we need to work without having to sit there and feel the panel necessarily. So we are at about 3.5, almost 4 minutes now. So I'm going to have Russ start giving that.
This is actually the toughest part of the process, is the 3.5 minute wait. But if we can give it that 3.5, 4 minutes, we could be short of pulling the skin off of the shell. All right, so this gets really tough.
Yep. So right before you pull, that gave me a. When we were at Pro Spot, I don't know if you remember when we wrapped the chain around the front of that Toyota Corolla. We glued one of these tabs to the front reinforcement, took the bumper off an older, it was an early 2000s Toyota Corolla, took the front bumper off, we glued this tab to the top of the reinforcement, and I used a thicker pull bar. This pull bar wouldn't have held that up, but I put a really big Allen wrench in there actually, and I was able to wrap a chain around it with one of our hooks that we have in the system and lift the front tires off the ground before one of the tabs finally tore out of there. So I don't know how much weight that was, but a Toyota Corolla with a motor in it, got it off the ground before anything let loose.
So in the kit that we're going to have together, or Brian has set up over there, is a myriad of different tabs and tools, but this is one of them. This is a multifaceted tool. We'll actually use this at the end for helping to remove it, but we're also midstream through the repair. As we pull this up and we now have our crowns around this piece, instead of hammering on the actual aluminum surface where we can create smiles and dents, we're going to be hammering on this as our striking point. Second and third part with this, we could actually glue this onto a door or a rear fender when we're trying to refit a light pocket and actually stretch and laterally pull that material. I mean, again, if we could lift that Toyota, we can definitely stretch a door to get this thing back into place. So I feel we've had our time.
Yeah, you are at 4 minutes and about 20 seconds, so you're good to go.
Oh, we'll never get it off now. After that 4 minutes and 19 seconds, it's irremovable now. So we're just going to start applying pressure. And at this point, we could be applying a little bit of warmth as well to help the aluminum rise, but we're going cold here.
You already saw that start to release on there. I don't know if your angle, you can see that, but there you go.
It's up.
Most of the dent popped up. Now I know this is just a demo door that I stomped on in the middle, but we want to show you guys a little bit of the strength on there.
This is finger loose now. Now we'll pull again on this side. We could start moving around. We may have tabs set in different areas to get the different pulls. We're going to release the big damage first. Now we're back tight. But this was at this point, we would come in and start moving that crown.
I'll give that a big smack right there. That might lift that. Body line's holding it tight. So,
Yep.
Okay, so as you said, you got it nice and tight there, but keep cranking on that. Let's show them the strength of the glue. Now you guys see, obviously the dent came out. That was a pretty soft dent, so it popped out pretty easy. But let's take a look at how hard he's cranking on it. And you said you got a little head shake up there. You want to come feel it? Come feel how tight that is? Come give that thing a couple cranks?
No. So when this skin comes off, it just sounds worse than it is, okay?
Hey, can we zoom in on that pull bar right there on the screen? Zoom in right here. Can we do that? Look at this pull bar starting to bend on here. Glue's not even flexing.
You got a question? Yes.
This is a Tesla door, yeah. What's that? Yep, look at the truck right behind you, the Chevy Silverado. All 4 doors are aluminum on this truck, so 2020 Silverado.
And the hood and the tailgate.
It's starting to squeak, Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it with the slide hammer, yep. And we have other shaped tabs over there that you can take a look at that are more like round for golf ball and hail-sized dents.
And when Ryan shows us, when we get over to the other side, we have very specific tabs for different dents. We want to make sure the tab is smaller than the dent, so when we lift, we have somewhere for that crown or rise to go.
So this is where it comes down to the fact that if you prep it properly, we're starting to pull other crowns out of the door. So if you prep it properly, the glue strength and the glue tab technology is not going to be the problem. You can pull just about any size dent anywhere on a vehicle, no matter how strong it is, with these glue tabs. We have designed them to withstand the pressure, withstand anything that any sheet metal or aluminum is able to lift. These tabs are way stronger than the metal itself, along with the glue as you guys see it. But one of the best parts is when you're done with the glue, because we always get this question, well, how do you get that glue off there because it's so strong, right? So once again, this is the 91% rubbing alcohol that we started with at the very beginning, and we got a lot of pressure on there, so this should be kind of exciting. So once that glue starts seeping in there, it starts coming off pretty easily. And go ahead, Russ, and just spray a little bit down in there. So as long as you clean your tab right away and you don't let it sit there for hours or days, you're going to be able to get it completely clean and not have to worry about glue sticking on there. And these tabs will last forever as long as you keep them clean and treat them nice. If you leave glue on them, it could get a little bit annoying, but as long as you clean them off right away, you're good to go. So he asked how it works on bare steel. That's a great question. So it does work better on paint, but it absolutely works fine on bare steel. So once again, as long as you clean it, you're good to go.
So
but it does look a little stronger.
Real process to that though. Common sense would say, hey, let's rough the surface up so we get a good piece. We actually want to polish it. So if you imagine 2 pieces of glass with some water in between, that's the sort of cohesive friction that we're creating when you clean and polish that surface. This will stick like nobody's business, okay? But if we can, as Ryan said, let's leave this paint on, helps us with our line of sight immeasurably. Yes, sir.
So he asked if we could do a paintless repair, PDR basically, yeah. So we don't necessarily market it that way because our glue is so strong that we market it for collision. But at the same time, I know a lot of PDR guys that do use our tabs. You'll see if you walk over there that there's a lot of tabs that are just like, you know, most PDR type stuff. So absolutely, if you got the talent and you know what you're doing, then yes, you can use them for PDR and make it work. Yeah.
Or in combination, so you'll do the majority of the lift with the glue and then come in there with your sticks and finish your PDR.
So he asked, a lot of people use silicone. Really, silicone that's like a bad word in a body shop, right? Like you don't want silicone anywhere near a body shop, even in the detail shop, right? I wouldn't let my guys have anything that had silicone in it. So I guess if there was silicone on it from a detail or something, I mean, you would clean it with the 91% rubbing alcohol, and that would take care of it. But yeah, we keep silicone out of the body shop. Save yourself. All right, anybody else have any other questions? Yeah. So he asked if you can leave the glue on for more than an hour. I don't know the exact or what if. So if you leave it on for an hour or 2 hours, you're gonna be just fine. When I set up for SEMA, I usually set up a whole bunch of glue tabs on something, and then by day 4, the glue starts to be a little brittle and yellow, and the tabs will start losing strength. But an hour or two, you're fine.
But you could set up before lunch, go for your lunch break, and still come back and be absolutely fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, yeah, so as I was mentioning in the beginning, all the stations, so these are the stations that we have set up over there that are designed for today's collision, for aluminum, steel that contain the glue pull, aluminum and steel, or you guys can do a combination of any, or either of the above that I just mentioned. So come check us out over there, find somebody in a Pro Spot shirt, and we'll help you guys out and answer any other questions that you guys have. Thank you. Last day of SEMA 2023, let's go.